Hello world, welcome to a little tutorial for modding State of Decay 2 on Windows or Linux. It's generally pretty easy. Oh yeah, by the way, sorry console players, this probably doesn't work for you. Maybe someday in the future, but it certainly doesn't now. You just download the mod manager. Half the mods are integrated anyway, which requires you to use the mod manager. Windows or Linux, you're going to download the same file. There's no dependency, so no .NET framework, no C++ redistributable, none of that crap. So you just download the mod manager. It's a standalone file. I personally just put this into my Steam apps folder right there with the executable for State of Decay 2. And then you could just, well, if you're on Windows, you could just double click to open it. If you're on Linux, if you're using the Steam version, you could just right click on the mod integrator, go to run through Proton Tricks, pick your game, which would be State of Decay 2 in this case. And then here it is. It just magically starts up. Windows, it's the same. There are some caveats for Windows. There are actually 3 places where you could, or at least that I know of. I don't think it's available. State of Decay 2 is available on good old games, so that's not an option. Windows users, when you use the Microsoft Store, it could, like, the pack files could be in some, those are the mod files, in some weird random thing. For some reason, it's like local app data packages, like all this big gobbledygook of shit. I have no idea why. Epic and Steam, it's apparently just all the same place. This is I think it's defaultly a hidden folder on Windows. If you're on Linux and you have this game through the Microsoft Store, I'm sorry, because it just isn't going to work. The Microsoft Store, well, the Game Pass or the Xbox app, whatever it's called, that just doesn't work on Linux. So your choices are dual booting or to try to use a virtual box with GPU pass-through. I don't know how to do that. That seems way too complicated. If you're on Windows, you can just copy this location and open up a run box, which is the Windows key plus R. A little box will pop up. You could just copy this into it and then hit enter, and it should just open up a file folder for it. But if you're on Steam, the State of Decay 2 stuff manually is under the compact data. If you have no idea where that is, like, because it's just a bunch of numbers, which not terribly helpful, go to your library, right click on the game, go to properties, click on updates, and it'll show you the app ID. In the case of State of Decay 2, it's 495420. And then you could just go to that folder. And basically everything is in the same spot. It's under, there's like a PFX. I mean, it's the only folder. So you go to the PFX folder, the fake C drive, the fake users folder, Steam user, app data, local, and then State of Decay 2, saved. And then you have your cooked and your pack files. So here's on mine. It's like exactly the same thing as what you see in the mod manager. For like something like the Heroic Store, I'm guessing, because they have a fake C drive too, except it's in a different location. So I'm guessing it would be under local. Oh, here we go. This is also State of Decay 2. I'm not really sure why, because I don't even have State of Decay 2. Well, I guess wine. I think it all is the same folder for wine. But for Proton, everything is in its own special folder. So there we go. I mean, it's kind of the same. So I'm guessing running the mod manager, you probably have to use Wine Tricks. So you open up Wine Tricks. It'll complain because of the 64-bit is still experimental. So it says select default wine prefix. You just click OK. And then run an arbitrary executable. OK. You should just be able to run, well, it'll probably, well, let's just go find it. So here we go, mod integrator, you just press OK, and there it is. It still kind of works. Well, the change store button doesn't work, but there are obviously nothing into the wine folder for my mods. So if you're using the State of Decay 2 file through the Epic Store, that is my guess on how it works. Anyway, See, I have a mod installed here. Like, all the things should work, all the options. You could just uncheck this, and then because that was my only integrated file for the Hillbilly Bunkhouse, creating an integrated pack just gets rid of it because I don't need it. And if I re-enable this, it created an integrated pack. It'll magically make the integrated part. You could just refresh view. The change store, it's not going to work under Linux. And you could just delete things exactly as you would under Windows. So you could just drag files in there. And if it needs an integrated mod, it should just make it automatically. But if you're like fooling around with enabling and disabling, you just click the create integrated pack and then refresh view if you need to. You can view the cooked pack. I don't have any cooked mods. Don't think that many mods are even cooked mods. So most of them are going to be the pack mods anyway. They're just two different ways of packaging them, kind of. I think they do different things. I think the cook mods are mostly graphics files for like reskins. I'm not entirely sure because I don't even have any, even though a lot of these are reskins, actually, like the Barely Borderlands Connection, Roadside, Rebel, Tempered Steel. I think those are all just reskins. And here we are in State of Decay 2 on Linux with the Hillbilly Bunkhouse, totally working, doing Hillbilly Bunkhouse things. So yeah, we could just do the coffee thing and take over. And you can see it here. It is on the base menu, Hillbilly Bunkhouse. It works just fine on Linux, and I can't imagine it wouldn't on Windows. So using the mod manager to have integrated mods is actually pretty simple, or at least it is under Steam with Proton tricks. Yeah, that's kind of it. Bye.